Alright, inner tubes, here we are. Ducati Multistrada 1260 in sport mode. We've got a nice big gear indicator, nice big speedo, the heated grips low, medium, high. So here's the mode button over here. You can switch your riding modes. You can switch your suspension settings all with the push of a button. Here's sport, touring, urban, and enduro. Let's just keep it in sport, because why even have the other ones at all? What's the point with this bike? So immediately my feet are flat on the ground, my knees are bent. I am 5'11" and a half. My inseam 32, 33 inches around there. But I've got nice big clunky boots, so they give me a little bit more inseam. The foot pegs are right underneath me, more in a sport bike riding position. We have traction control set at 4, ABS at 2, wheelie control at 2 in sport mode. The engine sounds pretty good even with the stock pipe. These saddlebags, I'm not so sure about. I've never liked plastic saddlebags. I like them aluminum, but what can you do? You can't really complain too much. This is meant to be a road bike. This is not meant to go off-road and do dirt trails. It's a 17-inch front wheel, and the tires are road. Even though it looks like an adventure bike a little bit, it's definitely road biased. And here we go. I think the turn signals are self-canceling. Let's see, let's check it out. Yep, they canceled. Nice to have self-canceling turn signals. Okay, let's see. Finding neutral. I had to fish around for it a little bit. So, this bike is basically, out of all the adventure tours, this is the sport bike. I'm feeling quite a bit of heat coming up from the engine, which is a trait of the Ducatis. Even though it's liquid cooled, you definitely feel it. But yeah, Ducati gives you a lot to play with. Traction control is at 4, but ABS and wheelie control, you can certainly wheelie this thing with wheelie control at 2. We're not going to be doing that today. It's not my bike, and it's against the rules. I would be a bad boy if I were to wheelie this bike. Well, these Ducatis sound good. It certainly feels stronger than pretty much any other bike in this range except for the KTM. The KTM's the only one in its league, and they have about the same horsepower on paper. So, 2 sport bikes dressed up as tours. The brakes feel good. It's very flat. When you brake, it doesn't dive. The suspension is very well sorted out. As I said before, this is electronic suspension, and so we basically have the suspension adjusting itself to the conditions as I'm riding. You can adjust the suspension to rider, rider plus passenger, rider plus bags, rider and passenger plus bags, and it'll set itself up for you. No wrenching, no turning any screws, nothing like that. That's what you get with these premium bikes here. The brakes are pretty sensitive. They are very sporty brakes. holds the line very well at speed. It is very sporty feeling, very sporty feeling. Gives you lots of confidence going into corners. It doesn't deviate at all. There's a fair bit of engine braking in sport mode here. And it definitely doesn't lack for power. It really wants to corner this thing. I don't know why I keep, you know what? The way my hand grips this bar here, it keeps turning on the high beam. That is a problem because you can see, 1 second here, you can see when I'm holding this, my finger just nudges that up into the high beam. So, this bike versus the KTM 1290 Super Adventure. The KTM is definitely taller, so if you're shorter, this is the bike for you. This one is definitely more cramped in the leg. They're both very fast. They're both crazy fast. I would say the Multistrada handles a little better. I don't know, it just feels a little bit more planted in the turns. Maybe because I rode the KTM in the cold and I didn't have the confidence in the tires that I have with this thing. But I am feeling like I could lean this right over, right to the edge, right when it's dragging stuff, and not have any worries. The brakes are good on both. The suspension is great on both. When I rode the 1290, the roads were a little rougher. These roads are a little bit better, but I am not feeling any bumps. The suspension is doing its job automatically. You don't have to do anything. You just press a button and the suspension does its thing. The windscreen's about the same as the 1290 windscreen. They both kind of end around your chin. They both kind of give you good weather protection. The throttle transition in first gear is a little abrupt. You can feel it's either up or down. It's either on or off. It's not super smooth, but this is sport mode, so I'm sure that in touring mode, enduro mode, urban mode, it might be a little bit better. Here it should be snappy. When you're sport riding, you want to get on it, you should be able to get on it quick. Finding neutral, that's one thing. This gearbox, great gearbox, but neutral is not that easy to find. That's my only problem with it. Weather protection, pretty good, pretty good. Your legs are not protected by anything, but your upper body is in a very still bubble of air. bike definitely knows how to hold a line. The suspension is doing its thing on these curves nicely. And it would be great on a bumpy, rutted, potholed road. Definitely this suspension is meant for bad pavement. Just like the KTM. These are the best bikes for bad pavement. I could not ride a pure sport bike just because of the, well, I've ridden one before, I've owned one. I've owned a 600 before, an old Honda F4, and the suspension on that did not handle bumps very well. They're great on smooth roads, but man, the minute you get on a rougher road, this kind of bike is the way to go. It's definitely the more comfortable choice, and it's probably the faster choice given the fact that you're so much more confident. You're confident on bad pavement on this bike, whereas you wouldn't be on a sport bike. And if you want to get somewhere, this bike will get you there about as quickly as a Lamborghini. Honestly, I would take on a Lamborghini in this, in almost any situation. It is brutally fast, and I do like these kind of bikes. You don't need the power, but this bike is not about need. This bike is about want. And man, Ducati knows how to deliver their fun. Well, fun times. I like this bike. Would I pay my own money for it? Given the fact that there's so many used ones for sale, the older ones don't have the electronically adjustable suspension. They don't have all the little electronic doodads. And those things are nice, but you know, I'm an old school rider. I've been riding for 20 years. I don't feel like I really need those things. I want them, like anyone, but I don't need them. Alright guys, the Multistrada. I have to say, I really like that bike. And one thing I liked especially about it is the handling. That suspension, the fact that it's working as you're riding and it's adjusting the bike settings to the conditions as you're riding is amazing. It is so confidence inspiring to throw that bike into turns, to whip around, to accelerate out of turns. Sport mode has the traction control turned down, I think, to 4 out of a possible 8. Which is still, you know, it didn't feel like it was cutting into the fun. The bike was still coming off of the turns like a rocket. I was accelerating with abandon. I wasn't worrying about sliding out or low siding or high siding or anything like that. I was just worried about having fun, which is really what you should be worried about when you're riding a bike. So the Multistrada, it's not the most comfortable adventure bike. It's not the one with the longest range or anything like that, and it's definitely not the most off-road worthy, but on the road it might be the most fun bike out there. The handling of it is just amazing. It's an amazing bike on bumpy roads. It'd be great. And I have to say, I really like it. Now, the rider triangle, the feet are a little bit high. Now that's what you get for a low seat height, and I think Ducati went for the low seat height, and they got a low seat height. It's one of the lowest seat heights of any adventure bike out there, lower than almost anything I've ever been on. But in order to do that, they have to scoop out the seat, and that kind of sticks you into a awkward position, because you're kind of wedged in that seat. There's not much room to move around. You better be comfortable the way you are, because you're not going anywhere. So it is a spectacular bike. It looks good if that's your thing. Some people don't like the beak on it. Some people don't like the 17-inch front wheel on it, which, you know, that's what gives it the good handling on the road, guys. So if you're going to complain about a 17-inch front wheel, then don't expect that kind of handling. Don't expect it to be as planted as it was in the corners, which it really was. Under acceleration, under braking, it was just wherever you pointed it, it went. No drama, no problems. It's a great bike. So guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified of my videos coming out. Till next time, and may the spokes be with you.